There are other selection tools that you can use in Photoshop that are more advanced. So if you go over to the tools on the left hand side, the third one down here, if I click and hold, we've got the lasso tool, the polygon lasso and the magnetic lasso. We're going to concentrate on trying to use the magnetic lasso tool. And it just requires you really just have a bit of a steady hand and to just move quite slowly, I guess, when you're doing this, to be accurate with it and trace the outside of the object that you want to cut out. Now, if you've got something as intricate as this bee that I'm going to use on my digital graphic, I probably want to see it in a bit more detail. So to zoom in, I can hold down Control on the keyboard and press the plus key, and that will zoom in. I could zoom in a bit more if I needed to, and then use my slider bar here to go across. If I want to zoom out, I can do Control and minus. And then, or in the bottom left hand corner here is my percentage, and I can just type a number in there to give me a zoom that I'd like. Once I'm happy, I can then just start using the magnetic lasso tool. So basically what it does is help make more detailed selections, but it is a bit trickier to use than the other ones in the other video, the magic wand and the quick selection. What you basically do is click on the first point and then hold down the left mouse button, drag the mouse around the object until you reach the starting point again. You must reach the starting point again, and you'll see in a minute what that looks like, because the cursor will change. So I'm going to start here so I can see it clearly. When I click and hold, it's like when you do it, the computer finds the edge of the shape. And I'm going to go around. It's quite tricky to find the edge of all the shapes. You might end up missing a bit like that. It's quite difficult, for example. There we go. That'll do for what I'm doing here. I'm going to do it quite quickly, so it won't be that accurate. But when you do yours, you'll need to be a bit more accurate, but you'll have a bit more time. This is just for the purpose of this demonstration. But you can see here, it's almost like when I move the mouse around, it's trying to find the edge of the shape. I'm going to keep going as quick as I can just to show you what I mean. So you can take your time. So you've got to keep your mouse button pressed down the whole time when you're doing this, and that is quite tricky. Miss the top of that antennae for now, that'll do. Okay, there we go. Now when I come up to the starting point, look what happens. You can see, if I just move the mouse back over that, there's a circle that appears where the mouse is. See that? Okay, so if I let go, it should then highlight as if it's selected. I can also double click on that point. So now I'm ready to cut it out in exactly the same way as the other selection tools. I'm going to use the move tool, and my cursor changes to a pair of scissors, and I'm going to click and drag that out onto my other file, onto my digital graphic, and I'm going to drop it there. And you will see it puts it as a new layer, as it did with the other tutorials. So I'm going to call this one B1 in case I have more than one B. And I'm happy with that. I'm just going to move it a bit, maybe over the top of my flower here, because it's going to be having some nectar. There we go. If I wanted to make it bigger, then I could use the transform tool to do that, which is in another video. But that gives you a good idea of how to use a detailed selection tool to cut out a shape that is quite complicated. So hopefully that helps you.